3.
Yeah. So you took an integer on the number line and you're subtracting a positive number from it. So you're going left towards the left 3 places, right? So you have -8, -3. And then can you give me an example of the opposite wherein I have any number on the number line, any integer on the number line? It could be positive, it could be negative. And I am subtracting from that number a negative integer. Give me an example.
-3 -3 plus 2.
Yeah. So you have a -3, which is a negative integer. I mean, it could be any integer at all. So you have anything on the number line. And for this example, we took -3. And what are we saying? If we subtract something that is negative from -3, what will happen? So we are subtracting -2 from it. So that becomes +2. And then you said 2, right? Yeah. So we are moving 2 spaces in the right. Okay. So that's one thing that we did in the previous class. So now based on this, I'm gonna state a few sentences. I'm gonna state a few statements, and you have to tell me whether they are right or wrong. Okay. And if they're wrong, you have to tell me an example. You have to give me an example showing that what I stated was wrong. Okay. So yeah, are you ready? Let's get started.
Yes.
Okay. So when two positive integers are added, we get a positive integer. I think we've done one or two of these statements in our previous class, but we'll just revisit those and we'll, move to further statements. Okay. So yeah. So the question is, when two positive integers are added, so since we've already done this in the previous class, it shouldn't be that difficult. Two positive integers are added, we get a positive integer. Is this true or false?
It is correct.
It is correct. Okay. How about when I say when two negative integers are added, we get a positive integer?
It is incorrect.
I'm sorry?
It is incorrect.
And can you give me an example?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead. Can you give me any example at all?
-8 minus 4.
You have to add the two negative integers. So first of all, Hiba, can you give me any two negative integers?
Yes, -8 and -4.
Okay, so we have -8 and -4, and then we are adding them. So what do we get?
-12.
Very good, excellent. So when we add two negative integers, what do we get? We get a negative integer itself. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, now let's move on to some new statements that we didn't do in our previous lesson. So when a positive integer and a negative integer are added, okay, I'm going to write it over here. When just a sec. Yeah. So a positive integer and a negative integer, they are added. My statement is, and now you have to tell me if I'm right or wrong. When a positive integer and negative integer are added, we always get a negative integer. Is this true or false?
It is true.
It is true. Okay. How about I give you this example, Hiba? So you are saying that this is true, right? So how about I give you this example? I have a positive integer, which is, let's say, 20. Okay. And I am taking a negative integer, which is, let's say, minus 3. So if I add them, because over here I have to add them, right? If I add them, what will I get?
Minus 17.
Okay. Can you tell me what do I do if I have 20 plus minus 3? What can I write this as?
Positive 17.
Yeah. So how did you get to the positive 17? What was the step you took before that? So this can be written as 20 minus 3, right?
Yes.
That's how you got positive 17. So
Yeah.
we are getting positive 17, which is a, what is it? Is it a positive integer? Yes.
Positive
So it
integer.
is a positive integer. So Hiba, would you want to change your stance on this statement?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is this true or false now?
It is false.
Yeah, it is false. So this one is false. So can you tell me how can we rewrite this statement? When a positive integer and a negative integer are added, then
When a positive integer and a negative integer are added, we get a positive integer.
okay, one sec, let me just, so you're saying we get a positive integer. Always, will we always get a positive integer, Hiba? Think.
No.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
we'll always, okay. So let me give you another another example of this. Okay, so if I have a positive integer which is 5 and a negative integer which is negative 7, and I add them, what do I get? Let's do one thing.
Positive 2.
Let's do one thing. Let's go to the number line. Okay, let's take help of the number line. So here's my 0. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then towards the negative. Okay. So what you're doing is, okay, can you, I didn't have to make that many numbers. I can just make it to here. Yeah. So Hiba, can you tell me from where do we start on this number line to do this calculation? From where should I start?
5.
Sorry?
5.
5. Okay. So there's 5. I have 5. I have to start from here. Now
Yes.
I have to move how many units and in which direction?
You have to move 7 units to the left.
Okay, 7 units to the left. Let's do that together now. 1, 2. This is a very, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So where have I reached now?
Minus 2.
Yes, we have reached at minus 2. So now the answer over here is negative 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now can you, so in this example, in the first example, we were getting a positive integer. In the second example, we are getting a negative integer. So
Negative.
can you rewrite the statement now? Can you rephrase it?
Yes.
Hmm.
When a positive integer when a positive integer and a negative integer are added, we get a positive integer and sometimes negative.
Exactly. Yes, that's excellent, Hiba. So when a positive and a negative integer are added, we might get a positive integer, we might get a negative integer, right? We
Yeah.
could get either of them. Sometimes we can also get 0. Is that
Yeah.
right? Can we?
Yeah.
Can you give me an example where one positive integer and one negative integer are added and we get 0?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Five.
Yeah, okay.
5 minus 5.
You have to
Oh,
add them, remember?
I don't know how we will get 0.
Okay, so you said the first integer that you stated was 5, right?
Yeah.
So if the first one is 5, what should the second integer be such that the answer is 0? What can you add to 5 such that the answer is 0?
Minus
Or,
4.
I'm sorry, what?
Minus 4.
Minus 4. Okay, so you say minus 4. How about we take the help of the number line again? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oops. I'm sorry. Yeah. So that's my number line. That's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that's the negative. I'm not gonna write all of them. Okay, so Hiba, since the first integer over here is 5, so from where should I start on the number line? Where should I start my calculation?
5.
5. All right. Now remember, I have to start from here, and where do I have to reach? Where do I have to reach?
0.
0. So I have to reach here, right? Now let's count the number of, so first of all, do I have to go to the left from here or do I have to go to the right from here?
Left.
Left. So one thing is clear, that whatever comes in this box, that will be negative. Okay, so you put a negative sign here, that's cool, great. Now let's see how many spaces we have to move so as to reach 0. Can you do that with me?
Yeah.
All right, so come on, tell me how many spaces will it be?
4.
1, 2, 3,
3 and
4, and
5. 5.
5. So how many spaces did we have to move?
5.
5 spaces. So what should I write in this box?
Minus 5.
Yes, that's excellent. You're so smart, mashallah. Okay, so what we have to do, did you get it? That if I'm asking you that you will have two integers, okay, and you add them in such a way that you get 0, what are the two integers going to be? If one is 10, the other will be?
Minus 10.
Very good, excellent.
Can,
So yeah, you asking
can
something?
you repeat the question again?
My question is, if I ask you to take any two integers, those integers could be anything, they could be positive, negative, anything, okay, take two integers such that when you add them, the answer comes out to be 0. So what will those integers be?
Positive plus
One,
negative.
yeah. So one integer will be positive and the second one will be the negative of that integer, right? Negative of that integer. So if I say the first integer is -3, what will be the second integer?
Positive 3.
Very good, excellent. Okay, so now we got to know from this third point that if you add a positive integer and a negative integer, what could the answer be? What are the
Positive.
possibilities?
Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah. So my question is, if you have a positive, just again, we're just repeating what what we've uh, seen just now. We're just summarizing it. If I have a positive integer and a negative integer, any positive, any negative, okay, and you add them, and you get a resultant integer. What are the possibilities for that integer? What all can it be?
It can be positive integer,
It
and
can be positive,
a negative,
it can be negative,
and 0.
it can be 0 also. All right. So now can you repeat the statement which we just studied? This one?
Yeah. When
Yeah.
one positive and one negative integers are added, we might get a positive integer, we might get a negative integer, and we might get 0.
Very good. Excellent. Okay. So let's move on to our next statement. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So, Hiba, are you aware of additive inverse? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, but
What is
can you
additive
still
inverse?
explain?
Yeah, sure. Of course. So, do you have any idea about it, or whatever you know about it, just tell me so that we can then, carry on the discussion from there. So what all do you know about additive inverse? Anything will do.
Like adding a positive integer with a negative integer.
Very good. You're almost there. In fact, you're 50% there. So additive inverse means that if I have any number, just like we saw over here, in this case, in the case of 5 and -5, right? If I
Yeah.
have any number, let's take 7, for example, the
Yeah.
number that I need to add to it, because it is additive, okay? The number that I need to add to it in order to get 0, that number will be called the additive inverse. Okay.
Okay.
So what is the, let me just ask you, what is the additive inverse of,
So
let me just write it, inverse of -4?
positive 4,
Exactly, +4. And what is the additive inverse of +4?
negative 4.
Excellent. All right. So any doubts still here?
No.
No doubts. Okay. Now tell me whether this statement is correct. Okay. Have you heard of the commutative property?
Yes.
What is it?
Like for example, 3 plus 7
Hmm.
is equal to 7 plus 3.
Very good. Yes, that is the commutative property. So this exists when we are adding something, right? So basically in the language of maths, we say commutative property is true for addition. Okay, true for addition. That means when you're adding two things, basically, let me just call it like this. You have this box, or let me just call it A. All right. If I have any number A, I hope you don't get confused in this.
No.
Any number A, and then I am, just a sec. So I am adding a number B to it. That will be equal to
B plus A
B plus the
plus A.
number A. So that is what we mean when we say commutative property is true for addition, because we are adding it. So can we say, Hiba, think and let me know, can we say that commutative property is true for subtraction? What I mean when I say that is, if I replace this positive if I replace this plus sign with a minus sign, will this still be true? Can I say that they both are equal? The LHS
No.
and the RHS? No? Can you give me an example?
Yes. 5.
Yeah.
6 minus 5 and 5 minus 6.
And 5
We
minus
can't
6. So
do
what is 6 minus 5?
1.
1. And what is 5 minus 6?
0.
What is 5 minus 6?
0.
What is 5 minus 6? Heba, what is 5 minus 5? Yes?
0.
5 minus 5
0.
is 0. So what is 5 minus 6?
Minus 1.
Very good, minus 1. Right? So Hiba, can you tell me why or what made you think in the first go, what made you think or what made you say that this would be equal to 0? I'm just curious. Yeah. What did you think?
Because we can't subtract the smaller number and the bigger number.
Yeah, that is one good concern of yours. But what we are doing over here, because we are aware of the number line, so let's draw the number line. Okay, I want you to draw it along with me. So I have a 0 here. Are you drawing it?
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. So Hiba, when we were in smaller classes and we were not aware of negative integers, then our teachers taught us that when you're subtracting something, you cannot subtract a bigger number from a smaller number, right? So we said, and in those smaller classes, we didn't have the concept of a question like 5 minus 6. When we came across something like this, we said, oh, this is not possible. What is this? Leave it, right? But as we have come to know more about integers and negative integers in specific, so what happens when we come to know about negative integers is that that okay, what do I have to do? I have to take the number 5 and I have to subtract 6 from it, right? So can you help me in doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to subtract 6 from it. And remember now that in earlier classes, you didn't know any number below 0, any number before 0, or I can say you were not aware of any number less than 0, but now you are aware. So that opens a world of possibilities for us, right?
Yeah.
So by that, I mean, we can now subtract any number from any number. It doesn't have to be smaller or bigger or anything. It can be anything in the world. We can subtract it. Even if the number that we are subtracting, the second number is larger than the first one. So even then we can do it. How? We will see from the number line how we can do it. And even in the previous class, we discussed how to do it without the number line. So we're going to take a look at that also. So okay, we're going to move from the number line. Can you tell me how many spaces I have to move and in which direction?
We have to move 6 units to the left.
Okay, so can you tell me where will you reach after doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me please.
-1.
4, 5, 6, exactly. So we have reached to minus 1. Okay. All right. So the trick of doing this without the number line, if you have much larger numbers, you're not going to have the time to sit and, go, let's say if you have something like 59 minus 65, you don't have the time to go 65 units to the left, right?
Yeah.
So what you will do instead, can you tell me? Any idea at all? What can we do in this case? Let me give you a hint, okay? See, let me just erase all of this. Yeah. Okay, so Hiba, now pay attention over here. We're going to note a pattern, okay? So you see this, there's this 6 minus 5. And we said that 6 minus 5 is what? 1. And iska ulta, like the opposite of this, 5 minus 6. What is that?
-1.
Minus 1. So you notice if you have, let's say 70 minus 50, what is this equal to? Can you tell me? Just quickly do this, okay? 70 minus 50. What is this equal to?
20.
Sorry?
20.
20. Very good. You have 20. So 70 minus 50 is 20.
20.
Now what if I ask you just the opposite of this? Not opposite, you can say the reverse of this. 50 minus 70. Can you just give me a rough idea, taking a look at this? Can you tell me what it can be? Compare it with what we have done over here.
-20.
Very good, excellent. You are so smart, mashallah. So are you seeing a pattern here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is what we talk about when we say that commutative property is not true for subtraction. In fact, what happens is we can say, let me just open the new page. So we said that 6 minus 5 is not equal to 5 minus 6. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not equal, but 6 minus 5 and 5 minus 6, what is the relation between them? What is the relation between them? Just take a look at the answers. 1 and minus 1.
1 and -1.
Yeah, so what is the relation between them? Okay, Hiba, just a sec. Pay attention over here.
Okay.
4 and minus 4, or let me just go back and yeah. Take a look at this question over here. What is the additive inverse of minus 4? The answer is plus 4. So what can you say? What is the relation between minus 4 and plus 4?
-4 is a negative integer and +4 is a positive integer.
That's right. But can you be a little more specific? Can we say that, again, we have said over here, what is the additive inverse of minus 4? The answer is plus 4. So can we say that minus 4 is the additive inverse of
+4.
positive 4? And the reverse of this is also true. Can you dictate the statement so that I can write?
+4 is additive inverse of -4.
Exactly. Any doubts still here?
No.
No. So once again, can you tell me, what can I say? 4 and minus 4 are dash of each other.
Additive inverse of each other.
Exactly. Additive inverse of each other. Very good. Okay. So similarly, what can I say about 1 and minus 1?
They are additive inverse of each other.
Of each other. Very good. So now, since just a sec. Just a second. So now they are additive inverses of each other. So can I, this is nothing but what? 1, and this is nothing but minus 1. So whether you write 6 minus 5 or you write 1, it's the same thing, right? You can replace the expression 6 minus 5 by the number 1, right? So what can you say? What can you say about 6 minus 5 and 5 minus 6?
6 minus 5 and 5 minus 6 are additive inverse of each other.
Very good. Excellent. So 6 minus 5 and 5 minus 6 are additive inverses of each other. And if you have, let's say, any number A, what will the additive inverse look like?
Minus A.
Minus A. So you can say A is equal to negative of minus A, right?
Okay.
What are we saying? We are saying that any number is equal to the negative of its additive inverse. I will just explain that additive inverse. Any number A is equal to the negative of its additive inverse. Is that correct? Did you understand till here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So so I can say that 6 minus 5, so 6 minus 5 and 5 minus 6, they are not equal. But what can I write? I can write this is equal to negative of 5 minus 6.
Yeah.
Can I say that? Let's just expand this and analyze this a little bit. So what happens? What do I mean when I say that 6 minus 5 is equal to negative of 5 minus 6? Okay. Basically, what I'm saying is 1 is equal to negative of minus 1. Right?
Yeah.
Because this is equal to 1 and this is equal to minus 1.
Minus 1.
So, okay, let me just expand the right hand side of this. So, Hiba, what happens when you open this bracket? Can you apply distributive property over here?
Yes.
Yeah. So, tell me what will happen when I open this bracket. What can I write it as? What should I write here?
Can you tell me what are, I know what distributive properties are, but I still have confusion.
Yeah, sure, no problem. See, so distributive property, what happens is, if you have, let's say, if you have a number 2, okay, and in the it's multiplied. Basically, when I put a bracket right outside a number, it means they are multiplied with each other. So 2, and in the bracket, I'm saying 5 minus 1. Okay, so basically this means this is equal to 2 multiplied by 5, and then minus. Why minus? Because here there's a minus. Okay,
Yeah.
minus 2 multiplied by 1. So you see, if you do it in this way, if you solve it without opening the bracket, what does it become? 2 into 5 minus 1. What is 5 minus 1?
4.
4. So that's 2 into 4. And what is 2 into 4?
8.
8. But if you do this same thing while opening the brackets, so basically that is distributive property. 2 multiplied by 5 minus 2 multiplied by 1. That's the distributive property, right? So what does this become?
10 minus 1.
What is 2 multiplied by 1?
2.
2. And what is 10 minus 2?
8.
8. So you see, whether you do it in this way or you do it by opening the brackets, the answer is the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that means they're both equal. So that is the distributive property. Now what has happened here is, instead of writing 2 outside the bracket, I am writing a negative sign outside the bracket. So you're going to do the same thing over here what we did with the 2. So now can you tell me, when I open the bracket, the negative sign, what will happen is it will get attached to whatever number is inside it. Okay. So now can you tell me what it will become? Just give it a try.
5 multiply 5.
5 multiplied by
5.
Okay, see, but what happens when we open this bracket is, just remember what we did here. We did 2
Yeah.
multiplied by 5 minus 1. So what we did was 2 multiplied by 5 minus 2 multiplied by 1. So can we do the same thing here? Minus 5. So we are opening the bracket now. Okay, so the minus 5 goes and gets attached. Sorry, the minus sign goes and gets attached to the 5. And then a minus, because of this minus I'm putting over here. Okay. And then the negative sign gets attached to the 6 also. So what does it become? Minus 6.
Minus 6.
Right? So minus 5
Yeah.
minus minus 6. So when two negatives are multiplied with each other, what does it become? What does the sign become when two negatives are multiplied with each other? Positive. Yes. Yes. So minus 5
Positive.
plus 6. Okay. So this was basically my 6 minus 5. This one. Okay. And this is equal to minus 5 plus 6. And if you take a look at it, it's basically the same thing. See, here I have a plus 6, right? And I have a minus 5. This is also minus 5 and plus 6. So it's the same thing. Positive 6, negative 5, positive 6, negative 5. So did you understand this concept?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So now, taking a look at this concept, answer this question. Can you say that the following statement is true? Minus 10 plus 3 is equal to 10 minus 3. Yeah. Hiba?
It is correct.
It is correct. Okay. Can you solve the left hand side of this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me, what will it be? Minus
10
10 plus 3.
10 minus 3.
Minus 10 plus 3. Let's use the number line here. Okay. So let's say I have a 0 over here. Or I will need a bigger number line for this. Let me just. Okay. I hope you're making it alongside. Okay, so I'm done making my number line. Done, Hiba?
No. I am done.
Okay. So, what do we need to do?
We need to subtract.
We need to start at -10, है ना? We need to start
Yeah.
at -10 and go how many places in which direction?
Three units to the right.
To the right, exactly. Why right? Because we are saying +3, not -3. So if it was -3, we would go to the left, but since it is plus, we're going in the positive direction. So we are starting at -10, okay, -10, and 3 units in the right direction. So can you tell me where we will land?
-7.
3, -7, right? -7. And how is that? How did that happen? So the trick to this is when you have any number, let's say 79 minus 20, or let's say -79 plus 23. What will you do in this case, Hiba? Can you tell me what will you do? Okay, let's just
We will -79 and 23.
And how will we do that?
79 subtracted by 23.
Okay. Hiba, so an easier way of doing that is, let's take a look at what we came across in this problem. Okay. We had 5 minus 6. And when I asked you what is 5 minus 6, your initial reaction was, wait, we can't subtract something larger from something smaller, right? So, Hiba, what do you think we can do instead? Can we, instead of doing, instead of going by the number line method, can we first do 6 minus 5, and whatever answer we get, we put a minus sign in front of it? Can we do this? Hannah? Because this is what we said over here also, right? That if you have, let me just change this. If you have 5 minus 6 and you want to find out what is that, you just put a negative sign and reverse whatever is over here. So you say negative of 6 minus 5. So 5 minus 6 is going to be the negative of its reverse.
6 minus 5.
Right? So what is 5 minus 6? That is, if we need to find that, what we do is we say, first you take 6 minus 5. What is 6 minus 5?
1.
1. And then add a negative sign to it. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so let's do the same thing over here. What is minus 79 plus 23? Or let's first, what we need to do in this case, let's do this. Just a sec, baby. 23 minus 79. Okay, can I write it like this? Because this is positive 23 and this is negative 79. Is this okay? Is there any problem in what I've written?
No.
No, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 23 minus 79. So in place of writing 23 minus 79, can I write this is gonna be the negative of 79 minus 23? Basically, I've just just a sec.
Reversed it.
Yes, exactly. I've just swapped their positions and added a negative sign in place. So now can you tell me negative of what?
56.
Very good. Negative of 56. All right. So one way to think about this is, if you have negative 79 plus 23, take the bigger number. Okay. Subtract the smaller number. Why are we subtracting? Because, well, there's a minus sign between them. So one way that some people like to think about this see, different people have different ways of remembering things, right? Some way might be easier for you to remember. It might be difficult for me to remember, and I might remember it using a different technique. So I'm exposing you to the different techniques that are available, that are there. So the one technique was this, okay? The other one was our number line technique, but that's not useful when you are coming across larger numbers. So then you don't have the time to sit and go across every single, the whole wave, 23 units, for example. So over here, the third technique is you have two numbers, okay?
Yeah.
First, you have to ask yourself this question. And I think it would be better for you to write these down. The first question is, take a look at the signs. Are they positive? Are they, just a sec, are they both the same? The both the numbers, do they have same sign or different signs?
Okay.
Okay, that's the first question you need to ask yourself. Same signs or opposite signs? So if they are same, if both the integers have same sign in front of them,
We have to
then
add.
you add them. If they have opposite signs, like one is negative, the other is positive,
We
then
have to
you subtract them. Okay. And in both cases, what you will do is you add them, right? If both
Yes.
of them, if both of them have a positive sign in front of them, then the answer will also have positive sign in front of it. If both of them have negative sign in front of them, then the answer will also be in negative. Whereas when you are subtracting, what you will see is that whatever the bigger number, whatever is the sign of the bigger number, that is the sign that you need to use, sign of the bigger number.
Okay.
Okay, so this is one more technique of remembering what you need to, the way you need to add or subtract two different integers. But this is also one way that you could think about it, whichever is easier, whichever is more suitable for you. So now let's practice a few more questions, okay? Let me, can you give me two integers, any two integers?
16 and 8.
16 and 8. So let me just say this is negative 16 and negative 8. And you are adding both of them. So first of all, negative 16, negative 8. What does this become?
16 minus 8.
Think again. See, this is negative 16. So this will remain negative only. You cannot snatch away from it its sign. This will be negative 16 only.
Minus
And then
16 minus 8.
minus 16 minus 8. Why? Because we discussed that when a positive and a negative are multiplied with each other, they are colliding. What happens is the negative sign. So it's basically, you can say positive and you're multiplying it with a negative sign. Then the answer will be negative. It will result in a negative sign. If positive and positive both are positive signs, then that's not really a problem. This will be positive only. But if one sign is negative and one is positive, then the answer will be in negative. And these are only when they are multiplying with each other, okay? And when both the signs that are multiplying with each other are negative, then the answer will come out to be positive. Remember the example that we gave from the English language, right? When you say something negative, like when you're saying not, and when you're saying one more negative word, which is bad, right? So when you're saying not bad, that means good,
Good.
and that is positive, right? Get it?
Yeah.
Okay, so now can you tell me, let me just give you one more example. Let's say 23 minus 23 minus 5. Can you tell me what this will become?
Minus 23 plus 5.
Very good. Excellent. So let's solve this. Okay. Minus 23 plus 5. Let's solve this using this technique or this technique, whichever is more suitable for you.
23 minus 5.
Okay. 23 minus 5. What is this?
28.
Are you doing plus or minus? Are you adding them or subtracting?
Subtracting.
Okay. So what is 23 minus 5? How will you subtract them? Will you need to borrow from the tens place?
We have to borrow from 2.
है ना? Yeah. So what will it become? Tell me.
13 minus 5 is 8.
Yes. Okay. 8. And then what does this tens place become?
1.
This becomes 1. And what will we do with that 1?
We will write as it is.
Yes. You write it as it is. So what is, now can you tell me the answer to this?
Minus 23 minus 5 is equal to minus 23 plus 5.
Yes. Very good.
That is 18.
That
Sorry,
is 18.
that is 23 minus 5, and that is 18.
That is equal to, see bache, what we just discussed, remember? We said
Yeah.
that if you have 23, negative 23 plus 5, right?
Yeah.
You cannot snatch away from 23 its sign. Why? Because 23 plus 5, or I'm sorry, negative 23 plus 5 will not be equal to 23 minus 5. And we saw this when we said, just a sec. Let me just clear a few of this space. So if I say minus 5 plus 6 and 5 minus 6, are they the same?
No.
No. Why? What is this equal to? Minus 5 plus 6? See, minus 5 plus 6 is nothing but, this is nothing but 6 minus 5. Why? Because this is plus 6 is as it is, and minus 5 is also as it is. Let me just, make it a little bit clearer for you because there's a lot of crowd in here. Yeah. So I'm taking a negative number, minus 5. Okay. And I am saying plus 6, which is a positive number. So I am rewriting it. I'm not changing anything. I am rewriting it as 6 minus
Minus
5.
5.
Is this okay? Am I allowed to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the same thing we are doing over here, minus 23 plus 5. So let's do this. Minus 23 plus, I'm sorry, just give me a second.
5 minus 23.
Very good, you got it. Excellent. So let me just write this. This is equal to 5 minus 23. Okay. We can also write this as minus of 23 minus 5. Okay. And don't get confused. What we have done here is nothing but we have just added, if you wanna, you can say expand this bracket, this will become, again, expand this bracket, Hiba. We have done this quite a few times now. Expand this bracket. Can you open this bracket? So when you open the bracket, what will happen is that the negative sign will get attached to whatever is inside the bracket. Yes.
Minus 23
Yeah.
minus 5.
There's already a -5 here. So when this minus comes in contact with the -5, what will it become?
Positive 5.
Yes, it will become a minus and then -5, right? So this minus is this minus. Okay. And this -5, or let me just use a different color. This -5 is the same as this -5. Okay. Is that clear?
Yeah.
And just to make things clearer, this 23 is the same as this 23. And this negative sign is because of this negative sign. Okay.
Okay.
So why has this negative sign come into two places? There was just one, right? This negative sign was just in one place. Now it has come into two places. Why? Because it has gotten distributed. This is the distributive property. So anyway, so what we are doing was, our question was -23 minus -5, and you solved it further. You said this is equal to -23 plus 5, which is great. Now, how do we solve it? What you did was, you did 23 minus 5, you got 18. But this is not equal to 23 minus 5. Instead, this is equal to
Minus 23 plus 5.
-23 minus 5,
Oh, okay.
right? See here, see this one. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is 23 minus 5 again? That is 18. So this part, this part is equal to 18. And then I am writing the negative sign as it is. So my answer to -23 plus 5 is going to be -18. And if we want, we can check this from the number line also. Let's just quickly draw a number line. I know that we are a little over time. Let me just quickly draw a number line, and I would appreciate if you do this alongside. So
Yeah.
this is my 0. 1, 2, 3. So okay, so I haven't labeled all of the numbers because it will take a long time. I've just labeled the ones that are very close to -23. Okay, so now Hiba, can you tell me what do I need to do? I start from -25, then where do I go?
To the left, to the right.
To the right. How many places?
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, where have we landed?